Hey everyone, welcome back to A Real Pain, a movie podcast where two generations clash over what makes their movies they grew up with a classic. I've been holding up my hand for way too long. I'm John, a millennial.
And I'm Matthew, a Gen Zer.
And today we're reviewing Fight Club.
Nice. Good intro, John. You saved it in the middle there.
I panicked. Here's the deal. Fight Club. We can't even, since we can't talk about Fight Club, can we even
do this episode?
Even do a review?
We're breaking the first two rules. Honestly, too many rules.
This movie is a fever dream.
Literally.
So, what did you know going into this movie?
Okay, so can I just say I am so happy that I did not have the actual big reveal at the end ruined for me. I don't know how I lasted this long not knowing the actual ending.
Yeah.
But that saved this movie because that twist ending,
yes,
that got me pretty pumped.
Okay, so here's the deal. We are immediately going into spoiler territory. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't seen this 20-plus-year-old movie, here's your spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I actually picked this is because there was a viral meme that happened recently because Edward Norton and Brad Pitt were at one of the soccer games because we just got done with the World Cup. And there was a picture of them talking to each other. And the caption was, "Why is Edward Norton talking to himself?"
That's awesome.
So that's why I picked this movie.
I'm so glad I didn't see that either.
This is... Did you ever see The Sixth Sense?
I haven't seen that either. And I don't know the ending.
Are you serious?
So don't spoil that for me either.
Are you serious? You don't know?
I'm being 100% serious. I don't know anything about that movie.
This is nuts. Okay, that's crazier. I thought it was crazy that you didn't know the spoiler for Fight Club going into this. The fact that you don't know the ending, my goal is to protect you.
Yeah, I swear our
costs.
Phones are on our laps. If they hear this and spoil it for me now after 25 years, I'm going to be so mad. No, the only thing that I knew about going to this movie, so at one point, one of my roommates started watching. He's like, I haven't watched it yet. It's time for me to watch Fight Club. So I watched like the first 15 minutes of it with him. So I knew that he was kind of like an insomniac, not really like seeing things completely straight. And I remember in high school, someone told me that the spoiler for Fight Club is that just the Fight Club wasn't real. So I was like, oh, he starts this like imaginary Fight Club. I don't need to see it. So that's why I never watched it, because I thought I knew the real ending.
Yeah. Okay. This is awesome. Yeah. Before we watched it, you said you told me what you had heard, and I'm like, can't say anything else.
Yep. And I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. Not even close. Had you seen it, Tabby?
No, I knew nothing about it apart from the two rules. There's no meme I'd seen. So this was completely fresh for me.
Yeah, one of my high school teachers he loved Fight Club. He didn't spoil it, but he would always be like, rule number 1, you never talk about Fight Club. And that's like the only thing I knew about this movie was that very specific piece of dialogue.
Okay, sounds good. Well, here's what we should do. We should probably get into our initial ratings.
Yeah, do you want to give a quick synopsis in case there is somebody who hasn't seen it yet?
Yes. So here's what's interesting is Tyler Durden is played by Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward Norton is also Tyler Durden. And it doesn't say his name.
Yeah, he's just known as the narrator.
Yeah, so if you look it up on IMDb, it just says narrator. So is he Tyler Durden the whole time? And he just has like an alter, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's who he like tells people he is, from what I gathered from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's like this one okay, I'm getting the cart ahead of the horse. So basically it starts off with Edward Norton. You find out that he's an insomniac. He's like slowly losing his mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's quote unquote has like the perfect life other than he can't sleep. He loves his apartment. he describes himself as a consumer.
He loves his IKEA furniture.
Yeah, he was like he talks about like a dining room, like picking out a dining room set that like makes his identity basically. And so at one point he is trying to find a way to sleep because the doctor won't prescribe him with anything. He starts going to random support groups and he gets like addicted to that. That's where he kind of meets Robert Paulson, who's played by Meatloaf, and which is kind of a fun cameo. When the opening, do you know who Meatloaf is? First of all,
I've listened to some of his music because of my dad. I didn't realize that was him though until you wrote the cast down.
Oh, okay.
I had never seen him without like all his makeup on and stuff.
Yeah. So just so you know, like every time I'm watching a movie, I'm like, this is Matthew's first time watching this. And when it's like, so the credits are like all spinning up and it's Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, Meatloaf.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I'm like, Matthew's probably like, what the hell is that?
Honestly, I was being so bombarded with the flashes and stuff. Yeah, I didn't even catch Meatloaf's name.
It kind of had a Independence Day, like the flash, like like, are you trying to?
This is very 90s editing for sure. Specifically the title sequence.
Yeah. So so then Edward Norton gets to the point where he meets Brad Pitt and they start hanging out together. They at one night after a bar, they start like hitting each other, and that kind of like starts this fight club. That's pretty interesting. So, and the movie just gets crazier and crazier from there.
It gets wild for sure.
So, yeah, let's before we get into like favorite, least favorite, why don't we get into our initial ratings here?
Let's do it.
All right, here's my initial review.
John's rating is a 7.5.
I think that's pretty solid. All right, Matthew, go for it.
Okay, here's mine.
Matthew's rating is an 8.5.
All right, I'm locked in.
All right, locked in. Well, first of all, do you want to know where I was? Because this movie came out in 99?
9, yeah.
Yeah, where was a young John when Fight Club came out?
So this would have been, this was a time period where moviegoers ate good.
Okay.
Because this would have been the same year The Matrix came out.
That's crazy, but also makes sense.
Yeah. But like that whole time period, like, because even in the movie Fight Club, there's a shot of a video rental store and there's a poster for
Independence Day. Yes, I was going to bring that up. Oh, man.
Beat you to it. But yeah, I would have been in ninth grade. So I would have been a freshman in high school because I graduated in 2003. So Fight Club, as you can imagine, like this was a time period where I was listening to music that was kind of like F the man.
Yeah.
If that makes, So like DMX, Rage Against the Machine.
Would Fred Durst be in there?
Yeah, Fred Durst for sure. Did it all for the nookie, baby.
I don't know. The only thing I really know about Fred Durst is
which you love doing that. Anytime
a
camera goes on Matthew, I'm
doing the Fred Durst new metal pose. It's so fun.
Like this and The Matrix were the coolest movies to see that year. If you were a guy in high school.
Did it feel like the world was ending in 1999?
Well, a little bit because people were scared of like Y2K and like everything. This is the worst prank ever. We went to a New Year's Eve party on as it switched over to 2000, and right at the end of the countdown, somebody shut the lights off. Just freaked everybody out.
That's so good though.
Yeah, it is. It was a great prank, and like you kind of like quickly realize like, oh, somebody's over the light switch. But yeah, so
I have a question. When you were watching it during that time period, were you like, hell yeah, these guys are awesome. This is such a good idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was actually a fight club at my school.
That's hilarious.
So,
because I don't think that was the message of the
movie. It wasn't like a good fight club. It was just kind of like slapping each other around and then like
body style.
Yeah. At one point, people did get like boxing gloves, and then we would like. There was one time we met at the park, and I fought this kid. I got my ass kicked. Like, it was so bad.
Oh no.
But the thing is like that. I mean, it was just so funny because like movies like romanticize, like this movie, for example, like he gets hit in the face and he's basically like, that was awesome. Hit me again. When you get hit in real life, I
can't even imagine.
Done.
Yeah.
You're just done.
Also, I love the part he's like, why did you punch my ear? That's gotta hurt.
Yeah. So anyways, so that was kind of where it was at. So like, yeah. Quick
side. That was an actual punch, by the way. So Brad Pitt didn't know he was going to get punched in the ear like that. But David Fincher pulled Edward to the side and was like, you should punch him in the ear.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. That's a really fun fact.
I love that. That's so good.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a little fight club. And this was also around the time, I believe, that Jackass, or maybe that was like 2000, 2001.
In that era, though.
It was in that era because it was like you had the fight club, and then like I remember buying like a camcorder, and then we were filming like our own little stunts of like me jumping out of a tree and doing really dumb stuff. So yeah, it was. This movie was a throwback for sure.
That's awesome. So can I guess what your favorite scene is? So typically we try and do like a single scene. And I don't know if we've really gone into depth about like a movie's, the way they edit it. Yeah. But I think your favorite thing about this movie is the way that they edited it.
So that was I wrote that down. So yes, that is top 5 if I was to pick a thing.
Okay.
And that was actually my guess for yours.
Ooh, okay.
Because there was one specific, and I don't know if I'm even close on this. Normally I'm like, yeah, I got this. There was one scene in particular where, and I don't know if it was CG or if they actually did it, but it's like a montage of like him traveling all over. And it's just all these quick shots. And there's this one shot where he's standing there and then a plane's flying over him. And I'm like, well, if they did that practically, and they might have.
I know. I mean, there was a couple scenes where I could tell they're using CGI, and it looked just a tiny bit rough. So I'm assuming that scene was also CGI, but I could be wrong.
But even so, like just the amount of work that goes into like a 1 second, and there's so many of those in this movie. There's just like so many, and I'm like, wow, they had to set up an entire scene, get a set crew there, and film this like thing for like 1 second.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. And I was telling Tabby this, like, if it wasn't edited as creatively as it was, this movie would have been a slog to get through.
For sure. Yeah. And I was a little worried about the runtime too. And even though it ended super late when I was watching it last night, it felt like it went super fast. And I'm wondering if like, this was like the start of like, let's try to get everybody's attention and make this like like, cause we do that in a lot of our edits. We're not making movies. We're making business
maybe
promos.
One day though.
Maybe one day. But like, you know, we go to a conference, and if we're doing a highlight video for a conference, we're going out and getting drone shots that we will use 1 second of in the
100%,
you know, or like time lapses and things like that. So I appreciate this movie a little bit more just because of the field we're in.
Yeah. And I think like a good example of how editing really saved this movie is that in the very beginning, he's talking about how he filled his condo room up with IKEA furniture. Like that could have been such just a boring shot of just like a pan of his room. But the way they filled it up individually, and they had like the price tags and the listing description, it was just so cool.
Yeah. Was that CG or did they do like a
I don't know.
Stop motion? I was really curious about that.
Yeah. But I like that scene because you always have ideas like that when you're editing or when you're making stuff like in the field? You'll be like, okay, this guy is a barber and they have all these tools and we're gonna like,
Oh yeah,
like stop motion, yeah.
And it's so funny too, because like I showed you guys that family reunion video I just edited, and I'm like, this is as close to Fight Club. I was like,
This is my Fight Club.
because it was a 6.5 minute video, and I was trying to change the scene every 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds, and
yeah.
anyways, yeah. So I'm like, this is so funny. I hope my family's like, gets the taste of Fight Club. I'm just kidding.
To answer your question about the furniture scene, they did use CGI, 3D tracking, and rotoscoping. So much work went into it.
I can tell too.
Yeah, it looked really good. But it also felt like the whole movie just felt full.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, because sometimes the movies that are coming out now, sometimes the lead just isn't in it a ton. And not a ton.
Do you have like an example, I guess?
I should have probably thought of one before I brought it up, but I'm just saying, like, Edward Norton is in this so much, and he carries this movie, because even though Brad Pitt is kind of billed as like the main guy, he's not in it as much, I would say, because he doesn't enter until
like a
30?
third?
Yeah, a third of the way in, maybe. So I don't know. I just
He-Man is a good example of where,
Well, that was like an 80s movie, though.
yeah, that was an 80s movie.
I guess I'm like trying to think of an example. Maybe it's just because we recently saw The Odyssey, where I'm like, this is a film. And I felt that way watching Fight Club.
The Odyssey, man. That's what movies are all about. I don't know. This might be a super hot take, but I thought it was an amazing movie.
The Odyssey?
Yeah.
Hot take?
How is that a hot take?
Dude, have you seen some of the people online?
Well, they're just mad because of the casting,
Yeah.
which I'm also mad about the casting.
I haven't yet seen it.
I'm furious. They miscast somebody in this movie, and I'm just, it's keeping me up at night.
Here we go.
They didn't get a real Cyclops to play the Cyclops.
Man, justice for Cyclops.
There are so many one-eyed people out there. And they
Right in the
couldn't
middle,
get
too.
right in the middle too. And they just made a puppet.
Yeah, if there's any reason to cancel Christopher Nolan, do it for the Cyclops.
Yep. So
that's
what we do here. We get sidetracked.
we have a little fun.
Yeah.
So if the editing wasn't like your top thing, what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was towards the end. Edward Norton figures out that he's also Tyler Durden. And so they're kind of having like a showdown. Edward Norton sitting in a chair. They're like dialoguing. Brad Pitt has a gun, and Edward Norton has this realization, and he's like, the gun isn't in your hand, it's in my hand. And he looks down.
Yes.
I'm like, that is so good.
That was such a cool, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was so well done.
I think it's because like they had a big reveal, but then the character's also realizing, like, he's going deeper into the realization of what's actually happening.
For sure. Yeah, that's such a good scene.
So, so that was my favorite line, and it was like an explanation point on a really great reveal.
Totally agree. Yeah. What do you think my favorite scene was?
Well, I thought it was the editing, but
I mean, it made the movie for sure. It'd probably be like top 2.
So I think your favorite scene was towards the end, full reveal. He's talking to his girlfriend, Marla, and they're trying to like, they're just chatting. And he's like, you met me at a very strange time in my life. And that it cracked me up. And I thought that was just such a funny way to like kind of cap the movie, if you will, because the whole movie is nuts.
It is insanity.
And then for him to just generalize it is like, this is a very strange time in my life. It just made me laugh.
No, that's the last 5 minutes of the movie. It wasn't my favorite.
Okay.
So
where does the 5-minute mark start in your mind?
I don't want to like get fully into it because I do want to talk about all the things that I did really enjoy about this movie. So we'll table that for now.
For least favorite part. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, now I have a guess for your least favorite scene.
But again, I think my favorite part was the reveal. And I'm so glad I didn't get it spoiled because that just, after finding out that he was Tyler, like acting as Tyler Durden, but not realizing it the whole time, and then thinking about all these different scenes throughout the movie beforehand and like recontextualizing it was just such a cool moment for me. And then him finding out like all these people that are still on his side, like wherever he goes after that point, like including the police, that restaurant that he goes to, that reveal is so cool.
Okay, that's awesome. So was there a moment where you maybe thought?
I never thought about it until they fully revealed it, which I probably could have. And I think Tabby, you had mentioned that you had picked up on it at a certain scene.
Yeah, I picked up on it really fast because when Marla, the first night, Marla spent the night at this old rundown house, and she comes downstairs and is like, oh, and then the narrator goes, what are you doing in my house? And then she storms off. I was like, I think she's upset because that's him. She was with him the entire time. And there was that part. There was when Tyler was like at the bottom of the staircase and he was going off with Marla, and Tyler was telling him what to say to her. I was like, oh, they're the same person. So I was like catching on really fast that they're the same person.
Well, I think part of the problem was I thought I knew the ending. So I wasn't really like watching it that closely to like think that Tyler was just his other part of his mind.
Gotcha. Well, I'm so glad that at least one of you was surprised because I think just because it was a rewatch for me, like there's just like, cause even the first time that Marla and quote unquote Tyler Durden make love, his face is like blurred out, so you can't see who it is. And then
but to be fair, I was still surprised. Like the clues I was catching on, it was not like, oh, this is so obvious. It was more like, oh, I think I'm picking up what they're putting down, because it felt like almost intentional that they wanted to maybe like trigger that thought in you as you're watching it.
One scene now that like makes even more sense is it's when Marla first calls the narrator at his home, and he leaves the phone on top of like the phone box, I guess.
Yeah.
And eventually Tyler picks it up, and he goes over to Marla's house, and she acts like she knows who he is, which I thought was a little weird, but now it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Oh, another part where you can recontextualize as well is when he's fighting himself in his boss's office, and he says the line, "This reminded me of the first fight with Tyler," as he's beating himself up.
Yeah. Just so many fun clues. Yeah. I think
it'd be a fun rewatch.
I think I want to rewatch it now for sure.
Yeah. One other line that I really loved was, if I had to pick my favorite couple of lines, one of them would be when Tyler tells Edward Norton, like, because Edward Norton's like is like worried about how he like looks after like, I think it was their first fight.
Yeah, somewhere along there.
And Tyler Durden's like, even the Mona Lisa's falling apart. I just thought that was really good.
I watched it with Rachel, and she just goes, "Wait, is it actually falling apart?" We need to look that up.
Oh, you know what? That's when he pulled a tooth out of his mouth.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. And then the other Tyler Durden quote that I really enjoyed was, "Only after you've lost everything are you free to do anything."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the reason I'm saying that those are my favorite parts, is because outside of like some of the motivational quotes that he has, pretty terrible guy.
Yeah, no, honestly, I feel like Tyler Durden is like top 10 villains of all time because he's able to have such a relatable like problem that I think honestly has gotten worse since this movie about how terrible like living in a consumerist society is. But then he twists it to be like, yeah, the only way we can fix it is destroying everything and fighting each other and making this essentially a cult.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a very realistic interpretation of how cults are even made, as they take a very realistic problem and then switch it into like, this is the only way to fix it.
Yep.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. A lot of parallels, which we won't get into on the pod because we're
chill guys.
We're chill guys. All right. So any other favorite scenes or things that stood out to you?
Man, rest in peace, Bob. That hurt.
Yeah, that was a tough watch.
Oh man, Bob. Yeah, I didn't realize he was Meatloaf, but I thought he played the character pretty well. I didn't realize he was an actor as well.
I think that's maybe the only thing he's done.
He's also in Rocky Mountain Horror Picture Show.
Oh, yes.
I only know that because I looked him up like 5 seconds ago, but
yeah.
I'd be interested in watching that one too.
So at one point during this movie, Tyler Durden's talking about, or I guess it's really Edward Norton is talking about Tyler Durden and splicing scenes into like kids movies and stuff. So previous to that, had you guys noticed that Tyler Durden was popping into the frame?
In like the first 5 minutes, there was like little pop-ins.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it past that point though.
Yeah, there's more. And then
throughout the whole entire movie?
Yes. And then did you see the one at the very end?
Oh, I saw the one at the very end.
I bet you did.
That was very on the nose.
I thought that was so funny. Like just trolling and breaking the fourth wall in all the weirdest ways.
No, I also really appreciated the dialogue in this movie. I thought it was like none of it was in a way that felt over-explaining. I don't know how to say this. Like none of it was over-explaining stuff to the audience. It was just what the characters truly would be saying, and you kind of have to pick up on what the movie's trying to say off of that. I really thought that this movie, because the director also did The Social Network, but I know Aaron Sorkin did like the writing for that movie. So I was really surprised that he also didn't do the writing for this one because it felt very similar, like dialogue wise.
The writing is very well done. Some of the conversations, especially when you watch it knowing the twist, that he's actually having a conversation with himself, it's pretty. It just takes it up a notch
for sure.
I also think that Brad Pitt has got to be the coolest smoker on camera. He was, I mean,
got that swag.
I'm going to be honest with you. It kind of reminded me of like Jeff Goldblum's movements, like at the end of Independence Day, how he's just kind of like,
he's loose.
He's loose and like just he's his own vibe. Brad Pitt is that in this movie because he's like, I mean, he almost reminded me a little bit too of Johnny Depp, like where he's just kind of like, the arms are like waving all over the place, but that's how he is smoking.
Yeah. I also find it hilarious that at one point during the movie, his ideal self is Brad Pitt in a crop top.
Some of the wardrobe that he's wearing in this movie is
crazy.
Wild.
But I mean, I think he pulled it off. It pretty swaggy.
It also seems like the opposite of what Edward Norton would wear. So I understand that it's like not supposed to match. And
yeah, I also thought just the Fight Club aspect and then turning it into a cult was such a cool, just showing how desperate people are for like belonging.
Yeah.
Like, guys, just join like a golf club or something. I don't know if we need to get naked and fight each other.
It really reminded me of, you know how we've talked about this a lot of like how people recycle ideas and I'm not saying that this is like blatantly ripped off, but this kind of was like who Batman was fighting in the newest Batman with Paul Dano. And
I need to
the
rewatch
Riddler.
that
Yeah,
one.
it's super good. And the Riddler, Paul Dano's the Riddler, does the same thing. He finds all these people online. So I think it might be like a more updated version.
Yeah, no, that completely makes sense.
So I thought that was an interesting parallel. So what, any other favorite parts of the movie?
The Jared Leto jump scare was kind of crazy. Wasn't expecting to see him in this movie.
Blonde
Yeah,
eyebrows.
Just blonde. Also, so when it eventually turns into a cult for Project Mayhem, everybody else has to shave their heads and stuff. You got to keep his blonde hair. What's up with that?
I think it's different rules for blonde hair people.
I should have known.
Yep. So if my son was in a fight club,
He'd
wouldn't
be able to keep
he wouldn't have
his
to
bleach blonde hair.
yeah, exactly. All right. I think I'm ready to guess your least favorite scene.
Yeah. One last thing. I thought it was so cool that the Tyler Durden, like half of himself, created safeguards so that when the narrator tried figuring stuff out, they were all like, oh no, he said you would try and ask that. I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah. And it's so funny too, because like just piggybacking off the idea of like starting a cult is like when you're in one, you can't see like a split personality wouldn't necessarily be a red flag.
Yeah, that
so
unfortunately makes complete sense.
So when they're like, you said you'd do that, it's like, oh, it's almost like a prophecy in a way.
I also find it, all right, one last like fun little thing.
Yeah.
I find it hilarious that a couple of guys walking out of a bar and seeing Edward Norton fighting himself were like, yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah, I like the cut of this guy's jib. Yep. That was super funny. And I love that montage too of just all the realization that he was actually just by himself the whole time. All right. Least favorite scene. I got this locked in.
Okay. What do you think it is?
So they need to acquire some liposuction in order to make the explosives. So I think your least favorite scene is when they're hauling the bags of it over the fence and it cuts open and spills all over him.
That was probably Rachel's least favorite scene. I thought it was kind of hilarious.
Okay. That was disgusting.
Was very nasty, but I
think I would have, if it were me, I think I would have made it all the way up to the point where it spilled on me and then be like, dude,
nope,
I'm out.
Yep, for sure. No, I thought that scene was kind of funny, actually.
Okay. I was wrong. So then my default guess then is because you hinted at it the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I think my least favorite scene is obviously we find out at this point that the narrator is like very mentally unwell. I don't know if it's specifically psychosis or like double identity disorder, something along those lines, but either way, like mentally he's not doing good. And the only way he was able to get rid of the part of his brain that he didn't like was like, I don't know if I can say this on the pod, but he pops himself through the cheek. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if I like the message of that, because I know like obviously like he needed a moment where like he was truly himself truly taking over. I just don't know if I like the part where for him to be able to fix his mental health, he had to do that specific action.
Right.
That just didn't sit super well with me. I'm curious what you thought.
I mean, my biggest issue with that scene was I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't be talking if you had that come out of your cheek and you had a hole in your cheek, like bro's not talking. Like, and the fact that he's like holding it, like maybe if you hold it, I don't know. If you're a doctor and you've seen that scene, just weigh in the comments. So yeah. So I don't think it bothered me. I don't know what you would have done differently, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Because like what was available to him and it needing to be like a split second decision, I think just narratively it made sense to me. And
sure.
But I also know that, with the current climate of mental health and things like that.
I think that was like my biggest thing is, I don't know, because I do like the narrative part of him being able to fully take over himself and get better. Like I thought that part was cool. Just that the way he did it, I was like, yeah, I don't really know if I like that.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. So then anything after that was a problem because you said the last 5 minutes.
Well, just because of that, and also them playing "Where's My Mind" by the Pixies was a little too on the nose, I thought.
Oh, right. So it was too good.
It was too on the nose. That made it not. And I was like, guys, come on.
I didn't realize that song was that old. I thought it was much newer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It gives early 90s for sure.
Because this movie came out 27 years ago. Is that right?
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. So that song is almost 30 years old, which is rough.
But also the fact that it's still this popular, that's pretty impressive.
That is really good. Really good. All right, what do you think my least favorite scene was?
I thought your least favorite scene, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I thought you were hurt when Bob died.
I did not care for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. You're good.
Okay.
No, that was my least favorite scene for sure.
I thought you were going to say, I didn't care that he died. I was like, oh no.
The problem, here's the thing. And we've talked about it on the pod before, but anytime somebody is just trying to be like a sweet person and wants to be included,
Just wanted somewhere to fit in.
and then something terrible happens to him, it drives me nuts.
He's a tragic character for sure.
So I think what would have made it sadder, and maybe you guys could chime in, I'd be interested on your take, but I was wondering if like the bodysuit that he was in leaned too much into the comedy side of it. I didn't know.
Oh, you think so?
Well, I mean, they call him.
Say it.
They call him bitch tits.
Yeah.
And so I just like, I get it.
Mhm.
But then like there were certain elements of his character where I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody like that. So I just was like, is this too are they over exaggerating? It was just a question. I mean, it didn't take me out of the movie, but I was just curious.
No, I mean, that was another thing that I also kind of appreciate about this movie is that there were like the comedic moments I thought were pretty well done. I didn't think his character like was too overdone.
Okay. Good to know.
Just because I felt like that was part of the reason why he couldn't really fit in is because he couldn't
Fair.
like that was part of his identity, I guess.
Yeah, fair. And then when they're all chanting his name.
Well, yeah, and that was the other sad part is like the narrator at this point was in control and he was like, he had a name like you need to say his name because he was an actual person who just died.
Yeah.
But then the cult members take it the wrong way and they're like, oh, you only get a name in death when you die for the cause, essentially.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's not why Bob died.
Yeah.
It made me so mad.
I agree. Yeah. So, and that was start of the arc too, right? Of his coming, like him trying to
figure out what's actually going on.
Stopping. Yeah. Realizing it's gone too far.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
All right. Well, should we get into our final ratings?
Yeah, I think we should get into it.
All right, let's do it. I am. Oh yeah. Let's hit some fun facts.
Let's find out where I was spacing out.
Okay.
Because apparently the Friday before the film was meant to be released, Rosie O'Donnell appeared on her TV show and she had already seen the first screening and she proceeded to spoil the entire movie and tell her viewers not to go watch it.
That was the start of her downfall.
Wow. That made me upset, and it's 27 years later. Well, so did you guys notice that Tyler throughout the film was wearing blue blockers, which are glasses used by people who are insomniacs just to block out light that will prevent them from falling asleep?
I didn't realize that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. During the scene where the members of the Fight Club were supposed to start a fight with strangers, did you guys notice during the fight with the priest, the guy who had the hose, did you notice the camera shaking at all?
No, I didn't
No?
catch that.
Apparently it shook because the cameraman could not stop laughing. That was one of my favorite scenes
That was
too.
my favorite scene when
Yeah.
like he sprayed him with the hose.
Yeah.
He like goes after him, but then the guy with the hose starts chasing him. He goes, sorry. That was
Yeah.
pretty fun. One of the comedic moments I enjoyed in the movie for sure.
So the author of, because Fight Club is based off of a novel, the author, Chuck Palahniuk, I hope I'm saying his name correct. So he revealed that when he was writing the book, he didn't know that Tyler and the narrator would end up being the same person until he was like 2/3 of the way done with the novel. And then he realized both of them kind of have similar mannerisms. And so he decided to like, okay, I'm going to make it be he's the same guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know it was based off of a book?
No, but respect the process.
Yeah. And he actually said that he thought they made improvements with the film. They did an improvement to the film compared to the novel.
Yeah,
That's what he
I
said.
looked up the author after this too, and it turns out the author was a gay man, and this was kind of his way of saying like the ways people just try and like fit in no matter what. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Also, he came up with the idea for this novel after he went on a camping trip, and he tried telling the people who were camping next to him to turn down their music, and they beat him up. Anyway, the next time he went to work after his camping trip, he had bruises on his face, and nobody asked him anything about them. And so him coming up with this idea was kind of like his exploration on how people just focus on surface level relationships in the workplace.
Yeah.
And so because he's like, why is nobody asking me what happened to me? Because that would trigger like an actual personal connection with the people he's working with.
Yeah.
So that triggered him to wanting to write this book.
Dang.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. I would definitely ask you guys if you had.
Bruises on our faces.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. I appreciate
What's going on at home? I'm just kidding.
What is Rachel doing to you right now?
So during the scene where Brad Pitt and the narrator are hitting golf balls, they were both actually drunk, and the golf balls were actually going to the catering van as they were hitting. So that's just a little fun fact.
That's incredible.
Also, in the cave, this cave scene where he's like meditating.
Yes.
There was a breath shot. That scene is recycled from the Titanic.
Really?
Yeah, the breath from Titanic is actually composited into that shot. So
That's wild.
I don't know why they did that though.
Oh, save a little money.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta cut costs somehow.
And that's been fun facts.
Yeah,
Okay,
going back
that's
to the
plenty.
golf scene, one of my favorite moments in the movie was it's right after they get done fighting for the first time in front of the bar.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to them just chilling out, sitting on the curb, drinking more. I was like, yeah, just guys being dudes.
Yeah. I loved when they like had a callback of that at the end where they're showing that he was actually alone all this time, and then he's like, "So what do you think?" And then passes the bottle to like nobody.
Yeah.
I love that so
it's
much.
just falls to the ground and shatters.
All right. Anyways, you ready for this?
Yep.
All
Final score.
3, 2, 1.
Ew.
What the hell?
I rated it higher than John.
Matthew's at a 9 and I'm at an 8.
That's crazy. So I think we have established at this point in the pod that like if we really, really like a movie but don't want to watch it again, like 9 is the highest we can go.
Yep.
And I did have like a slight problem with the ending. I do want to watch it again, but I think I can only watch it like one more time in my life, and then I'm good.
Yeah, then you're just done.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm done. But
Yeah, but now you're in on the memes.
yeah, now I get all the references, and now I can fully go on the internet and look up Fight Club,
Yes. All right.
which is such a relief.
What would you rate it, Tabby?
I gave it a 7 only because it was good. This was the first time I was telling Matthew that I enjoyed a long setup. So every single thing was like perfect. But it's just not my movie.
Sure.
But it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way Tabby rates movies, I think a 7 is like
That's
a 9 for us.
Basically. Well, I was going to say, I think this might be collectively all three the highest we've ever rated something.
The Hobbit.
Yeah, I think we
The
both
Hobbit.
gave 10 Things I Hate About You pretty
Oh.
high.
We need to print off past ratings because I
like that.
Yeah, we should have that up. Okay. Well, Matthew, what do you got for us next week?
All right. So this movie was like pretty gritty.
Okay.
So I picked the 2008 TMNT movie.
Okay.
Which, as a kid, I thought, this is freaking awesome. Anyways, 2008 TMNT movie. Make sure to watch it before we do the next ep. And till next time,
it's been a real pain.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode was brought to you by Storyline Multimedia, and special thanks to Matthew Purcell for making and producing our theme song.